Watching Rogers TV.
Good evening and welcome to West Dock. Today is Tuesday, March the 11th, and we've got another feel-good episode for you here today. And of course, I don't need to give you much of a weather report. Winter is still wintering. It's up and down like a dog's stomach. Rain one day, snow the next, but there's still lots of winter fun to be had here in Western Newfoundland, and including this weekend's festivities up at the Brook Civic Centre with the big concert with Shanneyganock and Rum Raggett and Rob Loves Rock and all those guys. Saturday night. Get your tickets at the Brook Civic Centre. We'll see you there. But anyway, outside of that, we have two great guests in studio with us today. And joining us first right now in studio, my first guest today, a friend from Pasadena, registered massage therapist from Sapphire and Soul, now located in Deer Lake. Say hello to Katie Stuckless. Katie, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I saw online that you're having a celebration week.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would be a good idea to get you in, first of all, to tell me a little bit about your business, and then to tell our viewers about what's going on with the celebration week, if that's cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So right off the top, can you tell us just quickly, as a quick way for our viewers to get to know you, how your massage therapy journey began?
When I was in high school, I actually wanted to be a massage therapist.
Oh, you always knew?
Yeah, but I didn't know any massage therapists. I've never had a massage. I spent some time at Grenfell and Munn.
You never had a massage and you knew you wanted to be a massage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just
cool.
Intuition. Yeah.
Love
it. And then a couple of years in university, no light at the end of the tunnel, eventually applied for massage school and got in.
Cool.
I spent most of my career in Bayvert, a little bit of time in St. John's, Fort McMurray, and now here on the West Coast.
Are you from Bayvert originally?
Yeah, I'm from Bayvert.
Cool. And so when you established on the West Coast, I think you said you were first in Pasadena.
Yes.
And operating on your own.
Yeah.
And so that was how long ago?
December of 2020, I started there.
Okay. So things have seemed to grow, and now you've recently moved and you have a new location. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I moved my business to Deer Lake. I was just looking for a place where I could grow my business a little bit more. Yep. The space I have there, I've taken on another massage therapist that's working with me. I still offer yoga in Pasadena, and right. I'd like to start offering yoga in Deer Lake as well.
Yeah, so a lot of people probably know you from the yoga as well, because just because of the yoga offering that you had, it got talked about a lot, and it was very visible from even the highway as people looked out onto the lake and saw you guys out doing yoga like in the sunset. And I don't know if you want to just touch on that a little bit. It seemed to be a pretty innovative new thing for the area.
And again, I traveled to North Carolina to do yoga teacher training for stand-up paddle yoga, and I also had never attended a class before.
Wow.
But this is something my heart told me to do, and I really enjoy it. It's a huge passion project for me. So
that's a really interesting crossroads, I guess, of outdoor enthusiasts and people who want to make yoga a part of their life. So now your celebration week that you're having, it's involving sort of all of this, right? You mentioned that you're a massage therapist, but also yoga is still a really big part of what you're doing. And so in your celebration week, it seems like you're offering up people a chance to just try out basically everything that you guys have on offer. And there's also going to be some great beneficiaries being fundraised for next week. So can you run our viewers through sort of the events that you guys have planned out next week, and who's involved and who some of the fundraising is going to be for?
The reason for the celebration week to start is Shelley joined me in October, so I'd like to welcome her onto the team and get her out and known in the community. I've been a massage therapist for 14 years, as well as been operating on the West Coast for 4 years, and then out of this new space for a year. So I think we should take the time to celebrate all milestones. Yeah. We're starting with an open house. So it's inviting existing clients to come in, support us. I'll have some treats from Melissa's on Main, as well as new clients to come in, see the space, ask questions, and any event that you attend throughout the week, we do have a gift basket, so you can enter to win the gift basket.
Yeah. Sounds like some great prizes in there as well, even like yoga classes from, I think, Megan Humphreys in Corner Brook, and a bunch of
Yeah.
other little great prizes.
Yeah, we have a heating pad as well as a cold pack, a piece of jewelry from the Carmel 11 collection that we carry, and then Megan just added this weekend a 5-class pass to
You guys
her
are
yoga
selling
studio.
jewelry and stuff up there as well? You got like a showroom?
Yeah, I have a little display case.
Cool.
So I have a Carmel 11 jewelry line. It's a Canadian brand, as well as some hot packs,
Nice.
cold packs. Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah, so I plan to expand that a little bit more as well.
Shelley, who you mentioned, Shelley Mantle, is she also a massage therapist?
Yeah,
Okay,
Shelley.
and a reflexologist.
Yes, she's a massage therapist certified in reflexology. Is her specialty.
Yeah.
The reflexology, her type of work, there's different points on the hands and feet that
Right.
then coordinate to different areas of the body. She commonly works with different points for stress management, back and neck pain. those
So it's
sorts of
very,
things.
very complementary, basically, to massage therapy, hey? Like you
Yeah.
get a lot of people who are, do you find this beneficial for the same type of person, basically?
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of her treatments for the reflexology, they will consist of half of the time being massage therapy, the
Yeah.
other half being reflexology. That is still considered a massage therapy treatment and can be billed through your insurance company as well.
It's good to know. It's a big factor for a lot of people, of course.
Yes.
So on Saturday, it's kicking off with your open house up there at 25 Main Street in Deer Lake. And then on Sunday, you're down in Pasadena.
Yes,
So you've got a yoga event on the go there, correct?
yes.
Okay, so tell us about that, where it is, and then what it's for.
I offer a yoga class in Pasadena regularly, Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. It's a slow Sunday stretch class. So kind of just taking that same time, and then people can pay by donation, whatever they choose to. And then that money will go to Pasadena Academy and their initiative for Eagles Landing, which is improving their library.
Awesome.
They're hoping to improve like the lighting there, get some board games and those sorts of things.
That's awesome. Love that library. Spend a lot of time in
Yeah.
there. Young man. And so then on Tuesday and Wednesday, you've got, I guess it's a reflexology offering with
Yes.
Shelley. And that is up in Deer Lake as well at your location.
Yes, that's at our location. So Shelley will do a little information session on massage therapy and reflexology, talk about what reflexology is, how it can be incorporated into the treatment. I think it's a great way for her to get the reflexology out into the community.
Yeah.
And then as well as anybody who can't afford treatment or they're just a little bit curious, then she will show you a home care practice so you can do this at home.
Oh, like
Yeah.
a self-care.
Yeah. so-
Okay, neat. A reflexology, home care. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So she'll directly show like different points on the
Right.
hands and the feet that coordinate, like this point will relieve stress.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can massage that area at home to help relieve stress.
Very interesting. I was flicking on the internet last night, actually. I saw a pair of socks that had like different things written on them, different parts of the feet, I guess, that are, zones that a reflexologist
So
would know
that-
about.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's
Okay.
like different areas, hands and feet that connect to different areas of the body.
Interesting.
And yeah, when you press in on them, it helps to relieve the tension or stress in that area.
Very cool. Sounds like a little cheat code for your body.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday, you've got an event in partnership with I Love You, with the I Love You Foundation.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that one. That's also, I think, a yoga offering.
Yes, as another yoga class, the slow stretch class. I do find that class can be more accessible.
Right.
It's a lot of like seated and lying down poses.
You can never have even tried yoga before, would you say? And this could be okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I welcome like anybody to come to class. So it's at I Love You Studio, and again, it's by donation of your choice, and
Yeah.
all the proceeds will go to the I Love You Foundation.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, you've got a great week of events. There's multiple people who are going to benefit just from people coming out to try a yoga. That could end up benefiting the Academy's library and also I Love You Foundation. Just something that came up in the back of my head as we're discussing this, for people who really, really have never even stretched their leg before, let alone taken a yoga class, like, are there things that they would need to bring with them, or how should they prepare if they're thinking about coming out to something like this?
I recommend bringing a yoga mat. If you don't have one, I do have lots. Just reach out to me ahead of time. I can bring one for you.
Yeah.
If you have participated in yoga before and you have a block, if you have a bolster, if you have a strap, you can bring it, but it's not necessary for class. Suggest bring some water, bring a friend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And some comfortable clothes?
Yeah, absolutely comfortable clothes.
Cool. So people, and I just want to put that out there, that people can just come, you know, they don't need to feel intimidated if they don't have any equipment or anything like that, but they should reach out to you, I guess, on Facebook if they're going to be in that situation.
Yeah, and registration is open online, so if people wanted to register through JNAP, they can, or they can contact me directly.
Wicked. And so, you know, in the last few moments of our interview here, like, can you tell us about, I guess, the type of people? Like, and I'm sure it's a range of people, but people who get massage, reflexology, you know, the type of people you're dealing with on a regular basis, how would you describe them? Are they more patients? Are they people who are just, you know, not coming prescribed, they're just seeking relaxation in their life? Is it both of that? Just talk me through, like, your normal clientele.
I have a very wide clientele. I've treated as young as 4 months, and I've treated into 90s.
Really?
Yeah, and sometimes...
You like massaging gas out of babies?
The one baby in particular, that does happen.
Yeah.
Torticollis, so spasms on the neck, like from the birthing process.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the baby was always looking to the left side, so then worried of flat head and those sorts of things, which massage therapy did really benefit.
Interesting.
Yeah, and gas always helps, better bowel movements, those sorts of things.
Yeah, I was YouTubing baby belly massages there a few months ago.
Yeah, and it does help with sleep as well.
Right. And so you also have people who I guess are just like basically getting prescribed physio massage because of some injury or something.
Yeah, I treat a lot of work-related injuries or like repetitive strain from work-related, motor vehicle accidents, sports-related injuries, chronic back, neck pain, headaches.
Yeah. And what about people who maybe don't have like an obvious injury, but they're thinking about this as for like relaxation or other forms, you know, of self-care, I guess. Like how is that received?
Absolutely. I treat a lot of people for like self-care, pain, relaxation, and any massage treatment that I do, even if somebody's coming in with pain, I still try to make it relaxing and like relaxation, stress management as a part of their treatment.
Cool. So there's really something for everybody up there.
Yeah.
So whether somebody's feeling a little bit chewed up this week, physically or mentally, maybe they could find some benefit from, I mean, even like yoga, I know has tremendous sort of mental benefits, it seems to have, from my limited experience. And from my practical experience, massage definitely it has a very calming, you know, relaxing effect. So I think it's just something that people should think about. Hey, if they're feeling a little bit stressed out, feeling a little bit sore, a little tore out from shoveling the driveway, it just seems like a nice thing to do for yourself, whether you're prescribed it or not.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that you have this event next week, and we'll definitely encourage all of our viewers to come out and check out your offerings. And what's the best way for people to connect with you now and find out some more information?
We're active on Facebook and Instagram, Sapphire and Soul. You can also reach out through Katie at sapphireandsoul.ca. Our phone number is 709-637-6959.
Awesome.
And
Wicked. Well, best of luck next week. And tell Shelley we want to have her in for a big talk on reflexology.
Awesome. I'll do that.
And that was Katie Stuckless from Sapphire and Soul up in Deer Lake. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our next guest in studio. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back for a tasty interview now. I've got a friend of mine and very, very renowned chef in the Western Newfoundland area and beyond. Please welcome for his West Talk debut, my friend Sheldon Bessie. Thanks for coming down, buddy.
No problem.
I've been really twisting people's arms here lately, right? We had Jason Whittle down recently. It took me 2 years to get him to come down and talk to me on this show, right? And it's only because he's moved next door he finally decided to do it, right?
He's a busy man. He's I work with him actually.
Yeah.
At Madison. So.
Yeah, and you're a busy guy too.
Yeah.
And I know you've just launched a new menu. You've got so much stuff rocking, but I thought it would be good to get you down on a Monday
Awesome.
and just chat.
Glad to be here.
So, for our viewers at home, a lot of people already know you, Sheldon, because you have been, like you just said off camera, a protein cook in this community for quite some time, right? And most famously, I guess, early on, spent a lot of time at the wine cellar, which for a number of years was probably considered Corner Brook's highest end restaurant. Hey, like it was
Definitely.
the staple. People travel in.
Yeah,
That was
it
the
got
spot.
that atmosphere. A lot of business was brought in the wine cellar. A lot of contracts done.
True, a lot of handshakes down there, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it had a unique vibe, and it's a cool environment.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And but let's go back even further in that. So you're originally from up the coast, right? Like
Yeah, Lance Meadows.
Nice to know. So Viking blood.
Yeah,
Is in there, yeah. And I know that your path, your culinary path, everybody's is different, right? But like, when did you know that this was going to be a thing that you would be happy to do forever? Like, can you think back to like preparing a certain dish with your family, or like a specific moment where you're like, this is cool? How did it begin for you?
Well, I grew up with my grandparents. My nan was a staple in my entire life, and just watching her do her Sunday's dinner,
Right.
Cooking everything for 12 hours, with onions, and nobody can make it taste like that, only her.
Right.
And everybody get those same stories from home.
Yeah.
But that was her entire life, was to cook for the family, and the fishery was all taken over by the older boys, because I was the grandson. All of the uncles were in the fishing boat.
Gotcha.
Until I got older.
Yeah.
So I was home with Nan, and I used to make grilled cheeses standing on a chair at the stove. Different times now, you wouldn't let your child do that now.
Right. Kind of wish they did though.
Yeah. And and I enjoyed watching her, helping her.
Yeah.
And even when I left and got out of school, I didn't know what my path was going to be. The moratorium came out in '92.
Yeah.
I thought my life was going to be in the fishing boat.
Right.
So when I left home, I went to Ontario for a couple of years, done my stint there. As long as I got a job.
What were you doing up there?
Oh, factory work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I came home, I said, as long as I can find a job in town, I'm never leaving. And I hooked on to a little pizza shop there on Broadway called Leonardo's Pizzeria.
Okay. Where was that to?
Right on the corner. It used to be his mother's kitchen now.
Okay.
Same
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And Subway was right across the road from us. And we got all the club guys,
Yeah. That was your first cooking
That was
gig
my
then?
first cooking event, yeah.
Cool.
So doing pizzas at, till 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
And then after that, you slid right into the wine cellar, or was there
I
some
did.
stuff in between?
I started off at the Glen Mill Inn as a breakfast cook, only for a short time.
Yeah.
And Wally Wellman was the chef there then, which is, to me, he's my first chef. He's the best.
I never heard of this fella.
He's
Was he pretty
fantastic,
renowned
a gentle
guy?
giant.
Okay.
Yeah. And he put me down to wine cellar with Joe Froud, who was the chef down there then.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from the both of them. And then Joe went upstairs and took over the chef's position, and
Yeah.
I took over the wine cellar.
Wow.
And that was the
Yeah.
end until I wanted to drive to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I left the wine cellar and started my own place called Rustica,
Yes.
which was on Broadway as well.
Yeah. Now, one thing that probably is hard to fully understand until you're in the situation is how challenging the restaurant business can be, right? Especially in a market like in Corner Brook.
Yeah.
And I remember Rustica. We had some fine dishes there. It was the first bison burger I ever had in my life.
Right.
Like just really interesting culinary memories from there, right? But
Right.
certainly, Corner Brook is a tough place, and restaurant business is expensive. And so I think you see a lot of people who probably want to always have it in their heart to do that, but truthfully would be better off, right, to just cook without the risk.
Definitely, but I'm glad I took the risk. I learned a lot from it, even though the restaurant didn't succeed. I think I've grown
Yeah.
from it, from my mistakes, from what I should have done or thought I should have done, but then moved on. And Madison's took me back then, Nathan.
Yeah.
From Pollination.
So he was the head chef at that time?
He was. And I called him up and said, Nathan, I need work. And he said, when can you start?
Wow.
That was it.
And Jason Whittle was in the mix then as
Jason
well?
Whittle was up there with us. And yeah, I ended eventually going to the grill because that's my area.
Yeah.
And we had a good thing going. And I had an opportunity to go to Strawberry Hill.
Right.
And
yes.
I went there for a year.
Wow.
And so then I started moving around a bit. And which I'm glad I did because I learned from everywhere I went to.
Yeah.
Strawberry Hill didn't work out. I went to Marine Atlantic.
Right.
So I was on the boats there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And
That's an interesting gig.
It was. You know what? People talk about the ferry food and stuff. There's a lot of good talent on those boats. COVID hit, and I wasn't high enough on the totem pole to stay.
Right.
So at the time, you could have went on the government grant or go to work. I got an opportunity to go to the hospital.
Right on.
So I cooked at the hospital for 9 months.
Buddy, you must have literally have fed everybody in Western Newfoundland. At this point, honestly, between the places that you've been, right? Like everybody has put something in your mouth that you've cooked, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And the hospital is, you know, for its own right, a good gig as well.
Yeah. Amazing what
I
gets
just
put out
can't
there.
be creative there. And even though I'm, we'll say, on the back half of my career now, I still got a lot to put out, I think, and I had to move on again.
So that's a good transition into where we're at today, which is now and what's interesting, by the way, is throughout the whole career that you just highlighted, from what I've seen, you've always had this ability to just elevate things at least one more step, right? Just to add a nice fancy touch on things without making the price have to go into the stratosphere. And so I was at Madison's a couple weeks ago, totally forgot that you were there, but what great timing, because you were just gearing up to launch a new menu.
Yep.
And Madison's, you know, I think over the years there's been a few different chefs, and they seem to really like to let the chef run with the ball at the Madison's, hey?
100%. Joe Dix, who's still the owner.
Yeah.
He don't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I'll let him try every dish that I makes. He's quite honest with me.
Yes, and everybody.
Yeah. And but I'm happy he is, but he don't interfere whatsoever. I'm allowed to be as creative as I want to. I can bring in any product that I want to.
Yeah.
But because of the economy, even though I'm a protein guy, the beef is so expensive now. I still got your steaks on the menu.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to come up with different options at a better price that's still just as good in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, so let's just hype up this menu because I'm honestly so excited. When we came there the other night, me and my wife were on the way to Corner Brook to go get supper. And we're like, where should we go, where should we go? And we were in Corner Brook and then decided, you know what, we're turning around. And we went back to Madison's and I had the menu that you gave me the last time I was there. And when I showed my wife, she was like, wow, what is going on here? So first of all, there's a few things that stand out for me on this menu, but is there a dish in particular that you're proud of, that you're really excited about on this new menu?
Well, I'm a pork lover. And, you know, until I moved to Corner Brook and got into the cooking industry myself, I didn't even know what pork belly was.
Right.
But now that I've started working with it, it is by far my favorite dish.
Yeah.
You can do anything with pork. Yes, it's fatty, but that's flavor and tender.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do it properly, I think you can come up with a good product there at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So hands down, my favorite item is the pork belly, the burnt ends.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting dish. People, the smoked, the barbecue smoked meat stuff seems to be getting very popular. One of the things that we see emerge from that is burnt ends.
Yes.
Which traditionally is like what, like pieces of the end of the brisket or something like that. Yeah.
That you cut soft that usually people throw away or consider no good, and you keep it. You put a sauce on it. You put it back in the oven until it's nice and moist again.
Yeah.
And reserve it.
So this I can only call it meat candy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The way this comes out is incredible. It's sweet and savory, and you know, and then you've got these beautiful little, I don't know, marinated carrots, it just for the acid to cut through the fat and the sweet, like so incredibly balanced. A very high-end dish, and a great price, right?
Yep.
And just like it's just enough for you to enjoy on your own, or enough to share. For me, what I was shocked by is really just the elevation of the menu and the price. Some people might look at that and be like, how are you going to make some money here, right? But I know your philosophy is you don't want to, you want to have a few little lost leaders so somebody can come
100%.
out, and, right? So I know, you know, my wife and I, we wanted to try everything that you had. It was all incredible. we saw a lobster thermidor, a lobster tail on your menu for $15.
Yep.
Like, that's incredible, right? So I ordered one. Then the guy next to me was like, "Oh, what do you got there?" And then he ordered two, right? Because,
Right.
And I just heard him say, like, that's the price. Two of these is the price of one in some restaurants,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Yeah. So very approachable, but high-end stuff.
I think so. And like I say, to have a lobster tail on the menu will draw somebody in that wants that higher end dish, while somebody else that's at the table is not into the seafood.
Yeah.
Will end up trying my pork belly.
Yeah.
I got a balance then.
Yeah.
So, and you get to try something else on the menu and see what we're offering.
Yeah, and I think that's for people who are hearing this now and want to come out. I really recommend just going a la carte and going and trying this and that and the other thing, or just go there and say and ask the server, what does Sheldon want me to eat today? What does Sheldon think I should have? Which is what I asked the first time I went there a few weeks ago, and that's how I ended up trying the stuffed Yorkshire pudding.
Yep.
Right, which was wicked. And it's not at all what I even imagined. I thought, how is he going to stuff a Yorkshire pudding? It's the size of, right? And this big,
It's a big thing,
delicate. Yeah, it was amazing.
We take the pie crust size, and that's how I make my Yorkshires instead of the muffin pans.
Oh.
And I make them that size, and then I just mix my filling, puts in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good dish. It's a hearty dish, and it's also another item that you can put on the menu where it's hearty, but not expensive.
Yep, and there's beef in there, right? You got your nice meats. I mean, it's just incredible. And there's a few other things now that knowing your background and remembering that the influences that probably like Nathan Hornridge you might have had on each other and Jason, the scallops. Scallops there were out of this world, right? Unbelievable, like smoky, juicy, just incredible. And not to take any steam, but I know Nathan also puts out he's really known for his scallop, right?
100%.
And when my wife and I were having your scallop dish, we thought, this might be our new favorite scallop in Newfoundland, you know? So,
But that's him growing up the coast too.
Yeah.
We get, all of our fresh fish in the water.
Right.
You get to try a lot of things that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do even in here.
True.
So I got to play with those kind of products early on. And some people come in and say, "Oh, the scallops weren't done enough for me." That's the way I think they should be cooked.
Yeah.
But you got any questions? You want them cooked more? Hey, I'm working for you.
Yeah.
So you tell me how you want it, and I'll do my best.
Whatever you were doing there the other night is exactly how they should be done. So that was incredible. Sheldon, man, I want to thank you for taking some time to come down and
Thanks
just
for having me.
talk about your history a little bit. And I think that the people listening have been sufficiently excited to come down and try out this new menu.
I hope they do.
So thanks very much. And if you decide to do some other change up or refresh in the future, let us know and we'll have you back.
100%. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Okay.
And that was Sheldon Bessie, the main man down at Madison's Restaurant in Steady Brook now. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to wrap this up. Stay tuned. And that's it for today's episode. I want to thank Katie Stuckless from Sapphire and Soul for coming down to talk about her celebration events next week from Deer Lake to Pasadena, as well as my friend Sheldon from Madison's coming down to promote their brand new menu, which you need to get out and try immediately. That's it for this week's episode. We'll be back next Tuesday with another West Talk. Have a good night.
If you have a comment about this program, we'd love to hear it. Email or call us, or send us your feedback through social media. You're watching Rogers TV.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here. we're in for something special. The best of the best. It's showtime, and away we go. We're going to drop the gloves right away.
The rivalry heated up. That was the greatest start to a hockey game ever.
It's murder in overtime. McDavid scores! Look at that. What a goal. Oh, Bennington game saver. Connor McDavid scores for Canada. Best on best and still the best.
You're watching Rogers TV.
When I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, I was deteriorating in front of everybody.
All my life I lived with sickle cell. I went through a tragic crisis.